Hi everyone. Welcome to Psychology and Spirituality, a Bridge to a Better Life discussion. During our weekly episodes, we come together to explore this intersection of spirituality and psychology. And quite often, we come to the amazing conclusion that there is such wisdom in both fields. My name is Marcia Trajano, and today I'm here with Jussara Korngold to talk about something essential but often misunderstood: health. Not just physical health, but the notion of what is integral health, what is the element that perhaps could indeed unite our mind, our body, our spirit. So I just want to say I'm here, as I said before, with Jussara, and it's such an honor, it's such a joy to be here with you, Jussara. She is the program founder, and in addition to that, she's a spiritist educator, she's a humanitarian as well. Thank you, Jussara, for being here in this journey through key concepts, right? In often found in spiritism, but what Joanna de Ângelis' work is based on. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, Marcia. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to our podcast, Spirituality and Psychology. And yeah, I'm looking forward to talk to this about this topic of health.
Very good. Well, let's just go back to what Joanna teaches, right? She, when uncovering this subject, she teaches that integral health begins with self awareness. So you may think, what? Well, Joanna teaches that health isn't just the absence of illness, as most of us, perhaps in our childhood, we were taught, right? But it's unlike the absence of illness, is the presence of inner harmony, right? Is that equilibrium, this balance. It is really a result of a life that we live, all of us, in alignment with our own values, conscience, spiritual purpose. And I keep thinking that as we're talking about health and alluding to illness, right? That illness that she refers to is this disconnection from the self. I hope we're getting there, right? So it's integral health begins with self-awareness because illness is a disconnection from the self. Self here, capital S, which is really our spirit, our divine nature. So, from that perspective, healing starts when we have the courage, when we dare to look within, not to judge ourselves, but to really welcome, to embrace all that we are and understand, to accept, and in doing so, transform. So, Jussara, I'm going to love to hear your thoughts because I'd like to know what can we learn from these teachings about integral health?
Okay, and one thing that I think we all can agree is that without health, we will be seeing a lot of imbalance in our lives.
Yeah.
There will be suffering, there will be worries, there will be sometimes financial struggles, professional struggles, and your dynamics in the family. So, this is one thing that I think everybody wishes for, to be in good health. But
Yeah.
now we have a different perspective when we talk about being in good health. What good health means, what health means. The Spirit Manual, that is the Spirit Mentor guide of the greatest medium, Chico Xavier, Francisco Cândido Xavier, he used to say that health is the perfect balance of the soul.
Love it.
Health
Yeah.
is the perfect balance of the soul. So this is health for us who look at life in
Yeah.
with a spiritual perspective. understanding that our health is not only going to be the reflexes of our heredity, genetic heredity, or other things that may be happening, but really the result of what we are doing, what we are thinking, and how are we exposing ourselves to external things.
Yeah.
So we all know that if I go to a very polluted place in terms of the air that I'm breathing, I
Yeah.
will not leave this place unscattered. I'll
Yeah.
probably have some coffee and then, or maybe problems with the sinus, something that is going to be connect to that, because somehow I had to expose myself to this kind of environment. But who makes the pollution?
Yes.
Is it
Good point, right? Good point for me and for everybody out there. Besides the environmental aspect of removing our ability to be as healthy as we can be is pollution, but who does that? Go ahead, Jussara. Good question. Yeah.
we have to question that? The same thing that the way that we pollute the waters, and then we are going to be drinking that water. I'm going to be bathing that in that water. So human beings have a direct responsibility in all of
Hmm.
that. And I mean, we are not trying to change our subject here to ecological
Hmm.
factors, but we have to think about it as well, because this is how our spirit is responsible for what is going to be happening to our physical body. The way we eat. I remember once I had the great opportunity of watching live, of going to the theater where Thich Nhat Hanh was going to be presenting, a talk,
Hmm.
and and he was talking about, the main topic was actually mindfulness.
Okay.
And but then he mentioned the way we eat. We don't savor
Yeah.
the food. Sometimes, we see people on the streets. They have a drink and a sandwich, and you see that their features are completed as of someone that is very worried about something, and they're just, automatic, biting the sandwich, drinking the drink, and not participating or understand the whole process of digestion that is
Hmm.
implicated in this act per se. So he was talking about, okay, we do need nourishment and good
Hmm.
nourishment for
Yeah.
our bodies to function properly. Okay, let's say that we all agree with that, and each time more everyone is talking about that. But then you go to Whole Foods, you buy organics, you do all of that, but then what do you do, and how are you going to consume that? With
Yeah.
mindfulness, or just like is just something that it has to nourish your body, and then that's it. And this is going to impact our
Yeah.
health. It's not
Yeah.
a matter of, eating junk food. Okay.
Hmm.
You eat junk food, you know that it's not going to be good for you, but you can be eating very good food and still not getting out of it what your body is requiring, because your mind, your spirit is interfering with the process. And this is what the integral health means
Hmm.
here, in terms of, our way of living and surviving. So this is just an example. We may find other examples. For instance, in the book In Search of the Truth, Joanna de Ângelis
Hmm.
talks about how we exposed ourselves in extreme sports.
Yes. Yeah. And
It's
I keep thinking, Josada, before you talk more about it, because
Yeah.
that's such a good book, by the way, everyone. but you start to talk about the layers of which, and I love that you started with the idea of mindfulness, right? To gather our health. But if you think about it, yes, you can say I no longer eat poorly, right? Junk food or whatever, still poorly, but how do I eat it? So it's beyond the actual food that you purchase or you grow or whatever, but how do you go about digesting or ingesting that food? Love it. And then that same type of thought process can go into many different aspects of what is that feeds us, if you will, of the nourishment that we need, to include um, the need to not outsource what we need, right? I don't know if you're going to that aspect of it, which in my opinion, it would be okay. This body's not well. I'm going to outsource being well by pharma, right? By whatever it is to address. I don't know, take a pick, cholesterol, high blood pressure, uh, propensity or pre-diabetic tendencies, all of those things that most of our Western society, especially in the US, we're vulnerable to it. And we outsource. What we mean by outsource, we get something external to fix something that we could somehow do it ourselves. And then we get that done. And now let's go to the other aspect, which is your perhaps your emotional well-being, right? I think that's what you're going for. And the I'm not doing so well, so I go into, let me fill myself with adrenaline to feel, because I don't feel anything, right? So the not just the food junkie, but now I am sport junkie. I don't know. Those are the things that came to my mind as, let's always think, what am I doing, and why am I going for the excesses of it, instead of looking at this body now as my temple to serve me while living this existence to get to where I need to be, right?
And sometimes, with I was just thinking with the silly things,
Mm-hmm.
we uh, actually um, do not pay attention and
Mm-hmm.
uh, to what we are doing. Uh, I was thinking, you go and buy this beautiful tomato, okay, organic tomato, and then you prepare it for a salad, and then you use a processed salad dressing.
Yes.
I mean, and we are becoming oblivious to what we are doing,
Yeah.
right? Okay, no, this is great tomato. Instead of homemade dressing,
Yeah.
you use a processed one, and then we know how damaging this can be as well. But let you say what you're saying, and this is what is Joanna de Ângelis talking about, because
Mm-hmm.
it says that the whole process of integral health depends on the perfect balance of the soul, like Emmanuel said as well.
Yes.
So, how do I balance my soul? And you mentioned that right at the beginning of our talk here, that is
Mm-hmm.
self awareness. So,
Yeah.
it's self awareness is a byproduct of the evolvement of the spirit. When it comes to a point that I say, like we were saying here, just an example, I'm so concerned about the food I'm taking, but I'm not paying attention in everything and how
Yeah.
really I'm taking this food.
Uh-huh.
Because,
Uh-huh.
at the last minute, I just, pour a little processed dressing, right?
Yeah.
So it comes with time. It comes with us becoming each time more conscious. But the things that is eating us up and that makes us eat too much and look for extreme sports and bodybuilding and exhausting walks is
Mm-hmm.
there is a void. And
Yes.
this is the void where we still are not in this perfect balance of the soul. We still do not know, do not understand our purpose here and how things work. And at the same time, how powerful we are in determining what is going to happen to us or not.
Yes.
Sometimes, of course, because here we talk about reincarnation, we believe in reincarnation. There are things that are already imprinted in your
Yes.
spiritual body, and only a process of re education will
Mm-hmm.
rid you of this imprint, so to say. But there are
Mm-hmm.
so many things, and
Mm-hmm.
the spirits and the gospel according to spiritism says that the majority of the sufferings, the ordeals that we go into this life,
Mm-hmm.
not from previous incarnations, they are from this incarnation. I mean, this
Right now.
there are difficult parts in
Yeah.
the gospel according to spiritism. One is this one, the other one is, the the good human being when they describe what you have to do or to be to become
Yeah.
to be called good,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of hard for us as well. So this is the whole process, and so because of our narrow view and a view that
Mm-hmm.
is much more still directed to the physical world, to the
Yeah.
physicality that we have, we say, oh, maybe if I go into this excessive diet, or if I have some, procedures, plastic surgery, or if I go to bodybuilding, or if I, uh,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
this or that. But where is the root? The
Yeah.
root of the
And
problem has to be addressed.
and I keep thinking if we pause a little bit on this, which
Mhm.
we may call this potentially the epidemic, right, of escapist culture. And you mentioned so well, from extreme sports to plastic surgery to extreme diets, whatever. And we see all of it, don't we? And the question is not that we see it all. And if we were to perhaps hold a mirror to our cultural values, we would ask, my goodness, right? Why so much noise? What are you trying to mask or not listen to? Why such rush in everything that we do? It's just a checklist. I gotta do. And perhaps, Jussara, what we should be talking about, and going back to what you said about mindfulness, is let's just see otherwise, right? How can we get to the silence, the stillness, and self examination that we need? And perhaps, I'm just thinking here, is that we are deeply uncomfortable with those things, with the silence, with our self examinations, right? And I wonder if we could talk perhaps a little bit about how somehow, and we are collective, right? We are individuals, we are unique, we are immortal spirits, but we live in this collective bubble. And I'm quoting perhaps with my own words the collective unconscious that Jung references, where our consciousness or lack thereof feeds to that collective conscious or unconscious. But I'm wondering, Ju, if we are doing this because collectively we are not prepared to expose our wounds, our spiritual hunger, right? Our unmet needs. And I know previously the two of us off we talked about the spiritual demand that is surfacing with certain topics that thought that no, we're not interested in talking about, say, Jesus, but yet unveiling some response to certain offerings, you see, no, look, there is that spiritual hunger that is being met by that. So, what can we do to perhaps stop, right? Stop masking that hunger, that real hunger, and looking for the nourishment that we need for our spirits, and to get to that integral health that we're talking about.
Yes, Marcia, nature doesn't go by leaps and bounds, and human beings as
Yeah.
so. We understand that we are in this process of perfection, for perfecting ourselves, and
Hmm.
perfecting ourselves means as well to reach a state of integral health, which is our
Yeah.
topic today. So, at this point on planet Earth, we are basically spirits that are here are basically of the same nature. Of course, there are some that are worse, some that are better, but
Yeah.
it's not that we are going to say maybe we've compared the worst type with the better, we will see a bigger gap. But
Hmm.
the majority of us are, going from one and the other, and is still trying to decide which one is better for us. Of course,
Hmm.
we know that what is better for us is good choices, right?
Hmm.
Is to be and to allow your perfection to take place. And so what happens? We have all this peer pressure in terms
Hmm.
of what everyone is doing, and even if you don't feel yourself uh, really inclined to do this or that, it comes to a point that when you look at yourself, you're doing it because
Yeah.
there is such a pressure and a demand. But the thing
Hmm.
is, the void is here,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we are trying to look for different ways for shortcuts. There is no shortcut to uh, spirituality, to become yourself, to
Yeah.
be yourself, uh,
Yeah.
your pure self. And so we go into this transition, right? We
Mm.
are transitioning. uh,
Hmm.
if we look at ourselves, I was recently watching that Ben-Hur movie, and wars and the imposition of Rome and all of that, and you look at, oh my God, how can a human being do that?
Uh-huh.
And then spiritism, spirituality comes to us and say, you know what, you were that human being in the past.
You're
So
right there, right? You are one of them. Yeah.
So yes, and now we are in this transitional process. And the thing is, and this is what I like a lot about the spirit Joanna de Ângelis, this at the same time that she brings us this subject. Listen, you're looking for a well-being. You're looking for integral health. There is a
Yeah.
way for you to conquer it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, there is the burden that you carry, the experiences that you have to go through, but it is in your hands to start taking different decisions that will be more in your favor. So am I going to put myself in danger in certain practices? For instance, I remember, unfortunately, I don't remember the name of the psychiatrist, but he says
Mm.
that human beings are the only animals that put themselves in danger. The animals are not going to do that. If a leopard see a lion, it's going to hide from the lion, not going to say, oh my God, I'm going to show this lion that I can run faster than him. And
Yeah.
okay, let's risk that. And everyone is going to be
Yeah.
saying, go leopard now. It's
Eh,
it's so absurd. And like he says, an animal is not using the little reason is strategy
yeah.
that up. They will never do that. And we
Yeah.
ourselves going to say, I'm just going to, to fly uh,
Yes.
with what, right? You're going to fly or run or going to races or etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what she's saying. Pay attention to what you're doing, to your
Yes.
choices, and how you can contribute it, and and make it a habit, because we have bad habits, and
Yeah.
have bad
Yeah.
habits die hard, right? But they don't say that they don't die.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
No,
same
this is,
bad
yeah, this is interesting.
habit.
Yeah. So I think it's this really listening to deep down in your heart, this whisper to your soul, right? And do it. And I know, Ju, I know I am one of the worst offenders. My calendar is full daily, right? From super early in the morning to late at night. And I know that I am so not in comparison. I'm not doing a tenth of what others are doing, right? I'm doing what I'm doing, and there's so many people doing better, reading more books, exercising more, or whatever it is that is compelling them to do to advance in their ambition to attain to a certain goal, right? But I think in a way, when I you're talking, I was thinking to myself that the full calendar does not tell the world what is my inner emptiness, right? It is only me who will be able to address that, to feel that, to confess to that. I was wondering
Just one
if
thing.
yeah, go ahead.
All those things are so complex, right?
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
do we burden ourselves so much?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we had lives where we didn't have the opportunity of
Mm-hmm.
doing certain things, or we were trying to show certain things and the world were not
Mm-hmm.
listening. And now you are put in a position where your work makes a difference, and you somehow have to compensate your spirit for all those times that you were frustrated not to be able to do that. So
That's a good. This is awesome. Thank you.
so many things. I think it's very easy for us to
Yeah,
criticize, and sometimes not so easy, of course.
yeah, yeah,
Recognize where we are perhaps going more than we should, like you
yeah,
presented in your super busy calendar. But you see, at the same time, there is a soul that is claiming to compensate for a frustration uh, that may be related to different things, to the opportunity of working, to the opportunity of putting our ideas out, to the opportunity of being well paid, and being able to contribute with other things. So there is so many things behind, and I
yeah.
think we have to understand that. We have to
And be
accept.
kind, right? And be kind to ourselves. I think. Thank
Yeah,
you. I really appreciate that.
because
Um, in our self reflections, we need to always remember this. Let's be kind, because we don't know in the cycle, right? That this life, but maybe previous lives. What is it that we have now that we can indeed overcome? Can I say debts of the past, right? Or emptiness of the past, and now we're just trying to accelerate.
I,
Yeah.
I have a good example.
Yes, yes, please.
I'm basically incapable of leaving home and, God forbid, traveling
Hmm.
without having any kind of food in my purse.
Yeah,
I cannot run out of food. I have to have food with me. Food may be a cereal bar, a banana, something like that, but I have to have something to eat.
hmm.
And I mean, this is a phobia, right? But then you think about this perspective of other incarnations, all of this. I normally say I probably went hunger so many times that somehow now, I don't feel safe if I don't have something with me, and most
Yeah,
of the time it stays in my purse for
yeah,
months, to the point that I have to discard it.
yeah,
But not a banana, of course, but a cereal bar. Uh,
yeah,
but it just have to be there. So it was a need, it was a frustration, and this is how it demonstrates itself. So because it causes no harm, I continue doing that.
absolutely.
I continue feeding my phobia, and and sometimes, yeah, I had some hard times where I was stranded for 7, 8 hours in a plane and
Yeah,
with little boy, and I had food, so I could
yeah,
feed my child. But you see, those are the things that we bring. Those are the things that we have to see as well. And this, in terms of integral health, means our state of mind,
yeah.
and and reprogramming ourselves to what I wanted to become,
Hmm. This
right?
is awesome, right? As a good example, and really the kindness that we need. The worst of the worst, in some cases, slightly borderline phobic behavior. Just kidding, Jussara.
Well,
It may be just an echo from the past, and it's okay. Especially when you said it. It is it. I'm not hurting anyone. Let me just do it because it gives me that sense of safety, or I got this, right? Instead of going crazy, what if this happens? So this is a good example. Thank you so much for sharing. I was
well, it
thinking, yeah,
comes 40
yeah,
years of being vegetarian.
yeah,
Sometimes really hard to find anything to eat and it's out of
yeah,
my home. But
yeah,
in any case, I really recognize that as being something from the past. I was
yeah,
deprived. I was
yeah,
deprived of food, uh, for sure, in many incarnations, and that is stuck with me until
yeah,
now. And I have this need, and so yeah, this like Joanna de Ângelis says, from the psychological and psychiatric perspective, that this neurotic, psychotic behaviors, it can be cured or
yeah, yeah,
minimize it. Of course, now I'm not going to go crazy anymore because of this. And why? Because I have the understanding. Now I
uh-huh,
know that there is a reason for that. And
mhm.
instead of just being aggressive to myself and saying, no, no more, or this or that, I will allow myself to grow out of it.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. You have no idea how this example really is very significant to me. But I think if we, I don't know, because I keep coming with the idea that if we reference Emmanuel again in Thought in Life, right, where he says thought is the source of life.
Mhm.
But what I'm thinking with this a few words together by Emmanuel is that he keeps reminding us that our inner world does shape our outer world. What are we talking about? Is, in a often chaotic or disconnected, whatever. If we all feel that we don't have a purpose, we don't have a meaning, and we look for meaning in doing things because it's the easiest, right? It's tangible. I'm doing something. Or not so easy, less tangible would be I'm pursuing an appearance that I'm okay, that I am peaceful, that I'm okay when inside I'm not okay. But it's like maybe if we think about it, pouring water into a vessel that is cracked, it just keeps leaking no matter what, right? So maybe if we can talk about the avoidance behavior that even we see in so many of what we do today, in the people that we know today, right? We just avoid. It's how we stay away or stay clear from hurting ourselves or hurting more than we already are. But Carl Jung, back to him, he talks about that we truly outrun that emotion discomfort that we're feeling, whatever that may be, through some sort of uh, right, we try to outrun, we can't. It's that it's leaky, right? But we try to outrun because we're feeling discomfort, and it's just not going to do it. It's not enough. And Jung talks about that we can only really get to have that crystal clear vision when we are able indeed to look into our heart, right? To and he says his sentence is uh your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. And I love it because there is a parallel with perhaps what Leon Denis brought to us, right? About this awakening of our spirit. And I think it's important for us to think just a few more seconds here, the idea that escaping, even though is a mechanism to kind of quench a little bit of that thirst or that pain, but escapism only delays the pain, right? And yes, it is delaying the pain a little bit longer, but it also, if we reference Jung, it also delays our awakening. So that's when I was thinking my business, and thank you for your kindness here, but my business is I want to be just high performer. I want to, right? I wanted to be, I don't know, socially active. I want to be this, but it's at some point I need to stop so that even though I'm feeling empty, I'll be able to look, why am I feeling empty? Which goes back in full circle to what you said about the pollution making me sick, but then who's polluting, right? The air, the water. Let's go back to the root cause, not the result. I don't know. I think I went in too many circles here and just try to help me, help me get out of this.
We have
This,
summarized our
yeah,
conversation today, and
yeah,
I came about 3 or 4 words that is fight, flight, or face it.
yes,
So this is
yes.
what we are talking about. We are here fighting to accept what we are and what we need to be or to
Mhm.
become, right?
Yeah,
I see certain personality traits, certain habits that I have,
yeah,
and I try to fight with that. No, I'm not like that. So this is
yeah,
our first response, right? If
yeah,
somebody comes to you and says you're too prideful and
mhm,
you're too aggressive. No, I'm not aggressive. This is the first thing we do. We fight the idea
yeah,
that someone is telling me that I am aggressive, fighting.
yeah,
Or I flight. I don't want to know. And
yeah,
then this I don't know, I don't want to know means that I can go to extremes of numbing myself with extra work, extra exercise,
yeah,
extra everything that doesn't make me deal with the reality.
yeah, yeah,
And the only way, like Jung is saying, that we can actually overcome all that and becomes what we are supposed to become is facing it.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I perhaps have been being too aggressive in the way that I do things, and what does it mean, and what can I do to do that? But in this case, it means I cannot fly and
Mhm.
just go away from these circumstances. I have to face,
Yeah.
and I have to find solutions. It doesn't mean that you have to be alone in this road. And
Yes.
this is what is beautiful about a spiritual community.
Yeah.
You will find support, you will find motivation, you will find podcasts like this one that will tell you, will bring some thoughts to your mind, and suggesting things like, for instance, Joanna de Ângelis says here that we complain too much about working and our work. This is because
Yeah.
we're looking for work as a means, a financial means, and not looking at work as being something that is going to be developing our intelligence, strategy, and like she says, that it serves as an important therapeutic function. Because
Yes.
when you're doing something and you accomplish something with the work that you're doing, how wonderful it is, this is, and how do you feel? So
Mhm.
so this is how I would summarize: fight, flight, or face it. I think the time for fighting and flight uh,
Yeah.
is over for us.
Oh, I love it. I
And
love it. No, thank you. Thank you so much. It's really uh, meaningful to me to hear your words, Jussara. But go ahead. I think you're saying something else, and I
now it's face it. And
yeah,
the thing is, if we face it, really,
yeah,
we will find a whole new world opening before our eyes,
yeah,
because our path, the path of the self, that has this self realization,
yeah,
is one of good deeds, is one of, going in the righteous path, is one that is going to be experiencing life and seeing people in a different perspective. They are
yeah,
no longer just passerbys in your
yeah,
way when you're struggling in the streets. They are human beings. They are in need of the energy of goodness that we
mhm,
all can put into our world. And this is how we are going to transform it, our world, and especially all the people that are here, into a stage of emotional balance. Then we will be each time less and less be in need of medical attention.
you got it. We really wrap it well. This is all comes together, right? With that well wholeness, right? And I just wanted to quote the gospel according to Spiritism, and you mentioned that already, right? Chapter 17, be perfect. Um, and it's a beautiful message for anyone who has not read it. Please take a moment to read it. You can download in your favorite browser. It's amazing. Chapter 17 for the Gospel according to Spiritism. But in that chapter, we are reminded that our spiritual growth is not about perfectionism, right? But it's about this moral coherence where we are, wherever we are in life, striving to live according to our values, according to what our goals are, our efforts to improve, to do better, to show compassion, to be kind to ourselves and to others along the way. And I just thought that that is really interesting because we have this vision of wanting to be what we're not yet, and because it's so far from where we are now, we end up, like you said, the fight, flight, or face it. We look for alternatives not to face it. So let us all be kind to one another, right? So we are about time to end. Did you have any final thoughts, Jusada, to everyone?
Well, like I always say, it is easier than we think.
Mm,
And it gives us so much inner satisfaction that this per se is already health of the mind and of the spirit.
yeah.
Sometimes the body is not in such a good shape,
Hmm.
but if your mind and your spirit is okay, you will be able to face everything. So
Hmm.
keep going, keep doing the good work, and
Yeah.
until next time.
I love it. I love it. To me, discussion on integral health is about not that external ideal or goal, but that internal goal that we all need to strive for. And to me, best to do it if we have an emotional awareness. We made the effort, but most important, the spiritual alignment. Right? It's getting that organic tomato and. Be aware, honor the tomato, and not put junk onto it before eating. Just kidding here, but it's that discipline, right? To decided to look for self-reflection, that emotional, spiritual maturity, and perhaps the ability to just sit still, even if it's not that comfortable to do that. So let us all be there and accept all that we are, all the good, the bad, and the ugly, the qualities that we already attain to our spirit, and the flaws and imperfections that we're trying to perhaps move away from. It's all part of the journey, right? But I want to say thank you. Thank you, Jussara. Thank all of you for being with us. And until next time, let us all make a pact to take care of our souls and honor this journey. And with that, I want to say I would like to also thank our sponsors, Mansão do Caminho, the United States Spiritist Federation, the International Spiritist Council, and AMI Brazil. I always like to reference it as the Brazilian arm of the international organization called Medical Spiritist Association. We'll be back next episode. Thank you for being here and hope to see you next week. Bye, everyone.